post-infectious cough.
Okay,
So-
let me just finish. I'm just going to read the last few so I catch
Okay.
up. Hello back from Jill. I have to get used to watching the time you're on. Love to watch.
11 to 7. It's super easy.
It's only 11 till 3. You only need to devote 4
I thought it
hours.
was
If you
11 to
miss
7.
part of the segments, there's always segments up on Facebook on the Jenna Wolf Show, and there's segments up on Periscope and Twitter. Kay Conley Baskin says hi from North Carolina. Most important thing for over 40, activity or nutrition?
Yes, all of it.
Both. Heather says, I worked out with you back when you were pregnant in the Today Show.
See, I worked out even while I was pregnant.
That's incredible.
Susie Penny says, what's your best tip for fitting in a workout when you work full-time and have 2 young kids under 5?
Take the activities you're already doing and turn those things into a workout, including laundry, making your coffee, doing push-ups, brushing
Walking
your
up the
teeth,
steps 2 at a
Wall
time.
Street, all of it. Wall Street.
Jenna actually will not, I don't know if you've ever said this, but when Jenna walks down the stairs, sometimes she walks on her hands.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Up the stairs backwards on my hands.
Up the stairs backwards on your hands.
Yeah.
Oh, I've actually, okay.
So if the stairs are like this, right?
Yeah.
I put my hands down and my feet back, and I move my arms.
Arms to do that. Okay.
Not easy. All right, finish
We're
through,
going
and
to
then
do
we're going to
that,
talk
and
to
then we have
Jasmine.
2 more. Lisa says, hello, Jenna from Reno, Nevada. And John Farless is introducing our next segment. He says we got a couple of hotties on our hands.
Yes, we do. Speaking of a couple of hotties, we will cut that in half. This is Jasmine Lobe. Jasmine is a multi-timer because there's so many things to say
I
and
know,
talk about
lots
with
to
you.
talk about.
Jasmine is the sex and relationship columnist at the New York Observer, and but what comes out is just a fraction of what is in here. There's a lot, and in here there's a lot up there and a lot in there. So we love that you come on and you share it all with us.
I love coming on. It's so much fun.
Oh, I don't know
You're so
about
much
that.
fun.
Oh,
You're like, oh my God.
Don't stop. Don't
It's
stop.
so
actually.
true.
Don't stop.
You know it.
I do know it.
You know it.
You know it. How are you doing? But you've been sick.
I've been really sick.
You're under the weather. But that doesn't
And,
affect your heart and your head.
It doesn't affect my heart and my head. But, you know, when you're sick, it's not like I have cancer. So it's like I feel
She
like
has
I'm
a cold.
like...
She's got a cold, guys. Let's all settle down. She's got like grippe. A little bit of a cough.
See.
That would be the one.
So I think, you know, when you're sick, you start... I mean, I think about things all the time. But, you know, I'm always looking for metaphors and like...
Wait, you're not dying?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. All right. She comes up with metaphors when she has a cold. Imagine if she like broke her ankle. Forget it. She'd be like
I'm such a hypochondriac.
rewriting the Bible.
I know. I mean, it would be you're right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, then I would come on the show and there'd be, I mean,
Get
it'd
it.
just be, it'd be so dramatic.
I
right?
know. I can't even imagine you being more dramatic than you're about to be. But let me hear it.
So,
I'm ready for
but
it.
anyway, so I've been thinking in metaphors.
Okay.
As a writer and so I was thinking about how I'm sick, I have this cough, blah, blah, blah. And how right now I feel like I'm going to do this. I'm going to jump there.
Here we go.
America right now is a really bad cold.
Oh, America has a cough. America
right now
has a really bad
has a
cold.
really bad cold.
It's an interesting metaphor.
And so honestly, I feel like there's just been an illness
going around. Yeah.
And I think one of the good things about it, and America's been coughing. America's coughing a lot of shit up right now.
Do you know what the remedy for that is? I know. No. More cowbell.
Cowbell?
More cowbell? No? Nobody?
Cowbell?
I got a really bad-
cowbell.
Remember I
Kettlebell?
No. You're so cute that you don't even know that reference. I
Cowbell.
was cowbell from Saturday Night Live. What
Cowbell.
does he say? I'm really sick and the only remedy is more cowbell. Anyway, don't even worry about it. Let's just go back in time for like 10 seconds.
Explain it.
I don't even really understand it. It was, what's his name? The weirdest actor in the world. Christopher
I love
Walken.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, and he's got that
it.
crazy voice. And he's like, you know the remedy, it's more cowbell. And then they cowbell.
Got it.
It's
totally lost.
It's, you know what?
on me.
It's ungettable.
It's-
Nope,
no,
it was a
no,
stupid
it
joke.
can
I
be-
shouldn't have gone there.
No,
It was all on me.
no, you're
My fault.
great.
Let's
No,
go back.
I'm out of
America
it.
is sick. America has a cold.
America
the
has a
remedy
cold.
is truth. I don't think you're going to get that right now, so there has to be
Or an inhaler, antibiotics, or what are those glasses?
Well, they gave them to me yesterday. I need to, like, I'm supposed to take a rest of my eyes every few minutes.
Because your head is allergic to the sun?
My head's allergic.
Your brain?
My brain is allergic to me.
His brain is obviously allergic to good shows. So
America also has a
sun and
really
reading.
bad headache.
Yes. Okay, so tell me what.
So
the remedy for
the
America's
remedy-
bad.
So
cold
I
is
think
true.
that honestly, it's just a lot of stuff is coming out right now,
Yeah.
and I actually think it's a really good thing, and I think that
Wait.
sucks
Why?
because we're having conversations in a way that we haven't before.
But the conversations are based on
Bad things.
these accusations and finger pointing, and we're not talking about anything that actually matters to this country to make this country better.
I do think that in terms of women, we're talking about assault. We're talking about, all of a sudden, like, we're talking about pussy.
Yep.
Yeah. And to be honest, I was talking about this earlier, that there's so much shame and titillation associated with that word, and now all of a sudden it's in the forefront, and I think that on some level, it's good to put this out there, to talk about what women have endured. And for an example, I had a really bad experience where I was crossing the street, an SUV crept up a couple inches, almost hit me. I stopped. I started walking again. SUV crept up again. I stopped. I was confused, disoriented, and I finally pointed to the cross sign, and I was like, I have the right of way. And I walked again. The SUV came this close to me, and the guy rolled down his window, and he said, I just wanted to see the look across your face.
Really?
He got turned on by my fear.
Okay, well that's messed up.
That's messed up, but I'm saying that there's
messed
it's
up.
weird, it's messed up, but I think that it's an attitude. And the guy next to him laughed, and the two guys laughed, and it was sort of this like man bonding moment
I
of
understand.
hurting a woman. I was hurt. No, I wasn't physically hurt. I could have been physically hurt.
No,
But
and it's
women
scary.
deal with this every single day, and some people talk about it. I talk about it in my sex column, but suddenly now, pussy is on mainstream television. It's on the cover of newspapers.
I have no
and
problem
so
with
I
it being
feel that even though it's very, like, all of this is very negative and upsetting, I also feel that there's a tremendous amount of truth coming out, and I think that's important.
there. No, I agree with you, and it's a conversation that we need to have, and it's a topic that needs to be approached. That being said, there's a number of schools of thought. One, it should be one of a plethora of conversations we're having as our two candidates race towards the finish line, not
Yes.
the only conversation we're having. Number two, the timing of all this is just so poor. First of all, Bill Clinton's not even running for president, and he's getting thrown under the bus.
Right.
And all these women are suddenly coming
Melania
out.
Trump got thrown under the bus too. She's not running for president.
She full on plagiarized the speech.
But she got thrown under the bus. Who cares?
That's completely different. She put that
He
out
was
there
the president
herself.
of the United States. He's involved. He runs the Clinton Foundation with Hillary Clinton.
Correct, but
Right, that's the Clinton Foundation. He's a much more relevant person, I would think, than Melania Trump.
okay.
I'm
That
just
being
making that
said,
point.
Hillary is not the one that came out. I'm not for either one of them, but Hillary's not the one that came
You're not
out
for
and
either
blamed.
one of them?
I would think that I'd love to be more for. I think Hillary's the safe choice. I think she will. I think I have far more faith in who she is and what she stands for and what she does and how she'll run the country, and it'll be fine. Everything will be just fine.
Right.
But if there was anyone else running, I would actually give it a second thought, because I don't trust her. I don't like the way she campaigns. I don't like her spirit, her enthusiasm. She's going through the motions. She assumed she was going to win, so I think she's just sort of backing into a lot of these debates and a lot of the campaigns with theories and policies by rote, and I just am not inspired. I thought I would be inspired, and I'm not. I'm not inspired, and maybe it's because the way politics has been sucked down into the gutter. There's nothing that inspiring anymore because it's defense. They're both playing defense every day.
Yeah,
I
it's
want
really
someone to play
dirty.
Ken Bone
offense.
is inspiring.
Ken Bone. Now you're talking about someone who basically has not taken that sweater off in literally
I know.
a week and a half. And the New York Post just came out and said Ken Bone should get into porn. Did you see that?
I didn't.
Oh,
watch him
really?
get into-
I have no idea. It was just a headline. I couldn't get myself to actually read the whole article.
Well, sex has really taken over this election.
Yeah, it has.
It's I mean, obviously sex is a very big part of life.
Yeah.
creates life.
Speak for
And-
yourself.
Not once you put those glasses on, you'll never get laid.
We're
Lance.
never gonna
You're
have
never
sex
gonna get
again.
laid.
No. I know you've been having sex.
What? You're nasty. No.
Anyway, so but I think that it's like all of a sudden sex has really become the forefront
Right.
of this election.
Right.
And I don't think has that ever really happened before?
Never.
I mean, I
Never.
know sex is.
What are you talking about? Like, there was Gary Hart had sex with, like,
But Gary Hart wasn't the nominee. Gary Hart was just running.
was a part of, like, he didn't become the nominee because...
Right. We are We are less than 30 days out from the general election.
But he lost it because of sex. Like, he lost
Oh, a lot
out
of
to
them.
Mondale.
Right.
Oh, well, that's different. That's not. We're not.
But for
We're
it
not
to be
20 days
such
out,
a-
and this is like the
Well,
only
Bill Clinton
topic.
there was a time where Bill Clinton...
But not while he was
Well, no.
campaigning to
Not while
be
he was
president.
campaigning.
But you're right. Right.
He was,
It's
sex
like,
was involved with him.
sex is
Sex
like-
was involved with John Kennedy as a president. I know, not when he was campaigning.
Right, but there's never been
Yeah.
a point where and don't get me wrong, like sometimes policy can be boring, and no one always only wants to talk about policy. I find it ridiculously
Well, here, this is the most
interesting.
this is the most engaged election, and sex is the biggest topic.
So it's like the perfect storm.
It's
And having writing a sex column, it's a little strange when all of a sudden, like, you know, it's everywhere. It's not even just like in, my column. It's like literally like everywhere I turn, and it's.
So
it's
have you
intense.
taken yourself out of your? I know you like to write based on personal experiences, but would you comment on this? Would you write a commentary
I think the sex
on
column that
the
I'm
metaphor?
working on, I think that it's going to be both personal and sort of a commentary on this. I feel like it's becoming personal. I think that when you hear it on the news constantly, everywhere you turn, it really starts to become personal.
Well, last time you were in, didn't you say that you were making out during the debate?
The first time.
You're right.
The first debate,
first
Lance.
debate.
She didn't make out during
Not
the
the second debate.
Because she was sick.
Well, no, I went to a debate party.
You went to a
She
debate
had
party.
debate pneumia, so she
She
couldn't
was the
make
debate
out
party?
during the second.
Yeah, I went to a debate party, and it's in my next column.
Okay.
A little foreshadowing, but
Okay.
but yeah, it's I mean, it's like debate. I mean, I wonder how, like, and I also wonder, like, how it plays, how this is, like, if this is playing into people's sex lives at all.
It's not. I don't think so
Or,
because
like,
it's not
into-
sex.
No.
It's harassment. It's assault.
Right.
It's the negative. It's the negative parts of sex. Do you
Right.
know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't think anyone's really turned on by this.
No, I don't think so either.
Except maybe Bill. And I made a joke this morning. Bill, except for Donald. And I made a joke this morning to Steph that the first woman that we saw come out was on the cover of the Seattle Times and the New York Times, whatever it was. And I'm like, he's probably saying, like, it would be fine if she was back when the younger whatever, but there was like an older picture of her, probably wasn't her most flattering picture, and he's probably like, no, I didn't do anything with her, but if it was a good looking one, be like, yeah, okay, maybe, I don't know, but at least she's good looking. Like, he's
Oh, the
categorically
first one.
denying
They
because
showed
of the way she
showed
looks.
pictures of when she was younger in the Times article.
But not the front page. That
Right.
was the current
They
one.
had
And
the
he
current one.
Yeah, and he probably was like, never!
Oh my god,
He didn't
Anyway.
remember her.
He did. It's a messy situation.
it really is.
And then you have to wonder, is it just coincidence that everyone's coming out now? Are they coming out now because the commentary made to Anderson Cooper? Is it true that the women didn't remember this until... Do you not remember something happened to you until he recently brought it up? Like, I'm not saying it didn't
it's
happen,
so
but the
upsetting.
timing
it's
is...
like
is-
such a sour feeling.
I know.
Well, nobody
it's
believed.
like-
There were all these people who were questioning whether Kardashian got.
Correct.
I mean, like.
I
people
told
didn't
you,
believe
know
her.
who started all this was that stupid guy with his kid in the bubble. Remember
Wait,
where this
what?
kid went up in the balloon and he's like, my kid's up, we were at the Today Show, my kid's up in the balloon.
No,
Everyone
I don't
nuts.
remember this.
Turns out he wasn't up in the balloon, it was a big hoax. And I don't believe anything anyone says ever
So okay, so
since.
talking about Kim Kardashian, do you believe that she was?
I
robbed?
did until I read one article where there was some skepticism, and then I was like, oh yeah, I also don't believe that. Like then all of a sudden you put it in my head, and I'm like, maybe it didn't happen.
Robin Quivers
But
on
she
the Howard
hasn't-
Stern show apologized for not believing her. And
But how
for
do we
not,
know
like,
it-
being sensitive.
No, there were a lot of things that
Either which way, even if
That
she had
happened.
here's another way of looking at it. Even if she had to make that story up, then you would also want to feel bad for her that she had to.
No, I don't feel sorry. I'm sorry. That I will go. I will
You
not
don't
feel
go that
sorry
far?
for her for having to make that story up.
I mean, we're talking about Kim Kardashian.
as funny as it is, I think
Okay, I
she's a
wasn't.
human
No, I
being.
wasn't.
She
There's
said
so
all
many
these
like.
people are human
There's
beings.
so many, stories, and there's so many. It's like everything's also, I was earlier talking about Derek Rose.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Well,
And
all
they
these
know?
people, yeah. So Derek Rose is what? He's accused.
He's a Knicks
Basketball
player.
accused
right.
of assault.
All of these guys are
Assaulting.
now coming out saying that they've never heard locker room talk like Trump was saying. You
Right.
said the other day you heard a lot of locker room talk. I mean, think about how many
About assault?
Think about how many athletes have
You've
been
heard of
involved in
locker
actually
room?
assaulting people.
No, not
And then they've
assault.
never talked
I'm-
about it in the locker room.
What I'm saying is I've heard like sexual deviance and like
In the locker room?
yeah, like what some of these guys have done and they're
Oh, you mean in men's locker rooms?
yeah.
She was a
Why
sports
have you-
reporter.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh yeah. I was 12 years I spent covering sports.
What were you doing?
I know I couldn't understand where your question.
Jasmine
was going.
wanted to know how she didn't get going
How she
into
get
the
going.
Yeah,
locker
like
room.
how am I going to get into these locker rooms?
You would probably have a blast.
We're trying to figure that out, actually.
Couldn't
That's
write
that's
fast
another
enough.
segment. We're trying to get her
All
to do
right.
that.
I've been
How is
in
this
more
happening?
locker rooms than I care to
Wait,
admit.
so and then they would say this in front of you. They
Look,
don't care.
I'll just say it. You know, back when I was covering sports, it was probably 99% men and like maybe like 0.5% women. And I don't know what the other 0.5% were. I don't know who those people were. So if you have a guy and there's like a swarm of 20 reporters around them, and 19 of them are guys, and there's one girl. Generally, you'll get your question answered, and then there's always like it's exciting for them. They, baseball players, they do 80 home games like this, so this goes the same thing every single day, and then you see, when you see that it's exciting, it's a little different, they play around, so yeah, they'll open up, they'll say things they probably shouldn't, they'll talk to each other.
Like, can I ask you, like, is there something that you remember, like one of the, like, the rudest things?
Sure, I remember all of it. I mean, I won't go into saying who it was, but I mean, they were bragging about like threesomes with each other and things they did, and they had nicknames for some moves that I had never even heard of that they
What kind of
called.
moves? What were they called?
I can't say it. It's way too vile for me, honestly, and nothing is too vile for
So
me.
your team doesn't go into those.
Oh, my team goes there. I'm playing with the teams. We once tried to recruit Jasmine. She
I remember
contemplated
she
for a second,
contemplated.
and then she
your
was
team,
like,
so far
I don't
hasn't
know.
broken through.
she's like, but I love third base on my team.
I got sick right after I made out with that guy. So I'm like starting to worry, like wonder if I'm allergic to men.
Let me ask you a question. I have a friend. I hope she's not
Okay.
watching. It doesn't matter if she is.
She's a great recruiter, or is she like the
no.
executive recruiter?
She's married.
Okay.
She's in a really terrible relationship. They have 2 boys.
Okay.
She's probably like, I don't know, 40, 35, 40. And
Okay.
he's the same. They don't even live parallel lives. Like, they're jetting lives. But neither of them are strong enough to pull the trigger and, like, do something about it because she's so worried about the boys. And the boys, her kids, don't get divorced.
Right.
But my advice to her, and I should have asked you first, was like, just because you have kids doesn't mean like you should give up who you are. So to spend the next 15 years like trying to just keep the kids, saying in a loveless marriage so the kids are happy, then the kids leave and you wake up one day and you're 55 and you're single and the boys are gone.
It's not so
Absolutely.
bad to be 55 and single.
It's different for a guy than for a girl. I'm sorry,
That's
it
true.
is. It just is. You have far more of a bevy of women to choose from than 55-year-old women have of men to choose
Right,
from.
but you also get to
No.
raise your children. Like, hey, here. Now I know that you're a big expert in all this stuff. I'm also like I have my qualifications in this area. I would say,
Because you got divorced 3 times.
right? But I've raised 6 children, and there is something to be said for what she's saying. Like it's not as black and white as just jump and get out of the marriage. because
Lance,
there are
you
kids.
got divorced 3 times.
And
You're
I'm
not on
not
my.
try- and I-
You're
I-
actually making my point. You're making my point. You didn't stay in the marriage for your kids. You went, got married, had more
mistake.
kids.
I may have made a
True.
mistake.
3 times.
Well, it's whatever. Without going into my personal
my-
situation, not every time was my
He's
choice.
like, you really should stay for the kids. But then he got divorced 3 times, so you actually did the opposite of what you think.
I'm
You
just
actually
like-
left.
You know what? It kind of occurred to me. This
God, I
is
got
like
real fired up for a second.
I'm seeing this therapist, and
I'm not.
Clearly.
I'm not sure if if I like her.
Your therapist?
Yeah.
You mean like her?
No, not like her. But no, I'm not sure if like I want to continue with her. And it's sort of like I've already told her so much about my life, and it's sort of like a relationship.
It is. It's 100% a
And
relationship.
you feel like, wait a minute, like, is this redeemable? Is this something
Nope.
that I can work through? But like afterwards, instead of like, I just am not feeling it anymore.
What don't you like about her?
Obviously,
She's
I
not
bring
watching,
these
don't
things
worry.
up, and then I'm like, why do I? No,
Why?
but I feel judged by her.
She's a. Oh, you feel like you really do? You're not supposed to.
I do.
No, you're not supposed to feel judged.
And I feel, and I've told her that, and we've talked about this before.
Are you guys going to couples therapy?
And so
No, we're in the therapist.
me and the therapist.
Right.
And so I'm in this, like, you know, there was a point where we really got along, and I thought she was a great therapist. And I learned a lot about myself.
How long have you been with her?
A year.
I've been with mine 12 years now.
And I just something doesn't sit well with me. And sometimes it used to go really well, and so I kind of feel like it's synonymous for like a relationship where you're trying to work at something. And it's like, when do you know when it's time to like get out, and when is it time to like work through, you know? And these are I think a lot of people are, you know, like Lance.
What about Lance?
When did you decide? Like, you know, you just got divorced.
I didn't decide.
Right.
I decided in that situation that I was going to get divorced.
Let's just say it was decided for him 3 straight times.
Right.
No. Listen, like, whatever. Every situation is different. I'm just saying.
Like, I
that
almost wish
I'm
she
just
would
saying.
break
I
up
would
with
say
me.
the first
I
time.
know. Of course, we all wish that. It would be so much easier
so
if the
much
other person
easier,
broke
but
up.
it's
I
like-
was just saying that your friend. There are a lot of people who are married, who raise children, who are divorced, who wish they didn't get divorced afterwards, who are like in marriages.
This marriage is not going to fix itself.
Listen, I think you
Well, it might not
try
fix
for a
itself, but it
certain
might
amount of
be-
time.
Yes.
You maybe set a time
I
limit.
agree. And if it's
You
still
know,
not there,
I'm maybe going to give my therapist another month. And, you know.
Can I recommend someone? I'm obsessed with mine.
Really?
She is.
But I don't know if we should see the same one.
She's my guru.
Really?
She's
Oh my
amazing.
God.
Yeah. I walk out.
Would you feel comfortable if I saw your therapist?
Yeah, we don't have anything. I mean, do we?
We're not going to like.
We've never slept with the same person. We've never
How
like
do you
had the
know?
same issues. Well, because she's only like once subbed on my team. Other than that,
Right,
she
but you
plays
played on her team.
Trust me, I don't. All my people were on TV. Do you mostly sleep with?
She did.
Just a couple.
Okay, so maybe we've crossed.
I
so
think
maybe
there might
we'll
have been
talk
some
about it.
cross pollination there.
Hey,
guys
you know
should
what I
review.
just
I
read?
would love to meet your therapist.
You should meet her.
Oh my God, she sounds so amazing.
The best. The
Oh my
best.
God.
I love her. Like at one point I went through a weird like,
Can
do
we
I
get your
love her?
therapist?
She's amazing.
Can we get your therapist on?
She would never come on.
Oh my
Oh, that would
God.
be
She's
bad.
too good. She's too like real and she's too like professional.
And expensive.
But yet, and she's too expensive.
But she sounds incredible.
She's incredible. Like I can call her up anytime, day or night. Not all her clients. And I'm dealing with this. I'm stressed about this. I'm worried about this. Make it go away. And she's like, boom. It's like someone who always knows what to say.
Wow.
I want to be that person. I'm not.
Wow.
You know what I just read? Because I did too.
What'd you just
We
read?
were both on SVU. I did Law and Order. You did Law and Order.
Oh my God. What did you play?
I obviously played a dumb reporter because they felt like that was the extent of my talent.
Guess what I played?
A sex therapist.
An owner of a women's only sex club.
Get out of here!
Yes, it was called The Box.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
I love
and
that.
a murder happened at my club.
Yeah.
And so I remember, like, Mariska Haggerty came in. She was so wonderful.
Yeah.
Did you work with her?
I worked with
What's his name?
I did 3 episodes, and all 3 of them
Okay.
I only
I
did
did one, so.
So I did 2 more than she did. So I did 3 total, which is
But
1 plus 1, and then
I
they brought
owned
me
a
back for a
sex
third
club,
one. So I did 3 of them, but I played a reporter in each one. I wanted to play a different character.
I played a character that, Mariska
Did
Haggerty was.
you have a lot of lines?
I had a decent amount.
Oh, I love
remember
it.
saying, like, I remember saying, like, ready to sign up, and she was like, just 1 second.
Look
Have
how
you
you
seen
moved
this
around. That's a
woman?
good line.
And I'm like, I saw. Didn't the bouncer complain she got rough with her?
Oh, that was good. Look at you foreshadowing the election. Look at you, previewing
it was all about
the election.
Rape, death, and assault.
Your 3
I mean, these are
most
themes from
talked about topics.
Seriously, it's just constant. The question is like, why do people rape? Why do people how do people
control. It's power. It's an obsession with power.
I mean, where do people tip over? You know what I mean? When does it what causes that kind of entitlement?
I think it's
Is it narcissism? Is it
Yes.
is it psychological damage or illness, or is it everything. I mean, it's like, I mean, that's the age-old question, but still, like, what?
That's the
makes someone-
age-old question? I didn't know that was the age-old question.
Where does rape start?
Where does rape start is the
That's
age-old question. Boy, I was way off for many years with the age-old question.
Right.
It's an interesting question.
It's
Definitely
the
a
age-old
conversation
question.
topic. It's the age-old question, clearly.
You know,
Clearly. I don't know the
obviously,
answer to that.
I don't know either.
All
but
I know is,
it's terrifying.
all right, so tell me what you're going to write about. What can we look forward to? Because I'm excited.
Yeah.
Last time you here, you said the word fingering, and it like blew me away. But now
No,
I'm
I
open
wanna-
to you saying anything.
I'm writing about this. You know, I'm filed tomorrow, but I'm writing about, you know, the election in context with like kind of my sex column and the fact that pussy has now become like almost like a mainstream word. It's on the cover of newspapers.
Yeah.
And sort of also talking about healing and how, in a way, as awful as this is, as terrible as what we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, that I do believe, I have hope that we can heal as a country. I really do.
Okay, well, lofty goals, but I really
You know,
think that
I mean,
you're onto
you know,
something.
if you're pessimistic, like, what's the point of that too, though?
Yeah.
If you know, that there's no point to that.
Well, I feel like they're going to need to wrap this up pretty quickly
Yeah.
and get to some good stuff within the next month before
Absolutely.
we're all going down the rabbit hole.
Absolutely.
So-
Yeah. I'm ready for this election to be over the way I'm ready for my cough to be over.
Yeah, well, I'm ready for your cough to be over too. Now that you just hugged your like breastages up
I'm ready
against
for your
me.
cough to be over after it gets started.
What's that?
Oh,
I'm
no.
ready for your cough to be over after it gets started.
After
Oh, no.
I know, right?
I don't believe I'm
Um,
contagious.
Yeah, I don't think you're contagious either. That being said, I
you
want to
know.
thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been an amazing
We get
guest.
grab a picture of you guys.
Can we get a picture of us together real quick? I can't. Awesome.
Should we get a
All right,
picture?
second.
Love everybody.